Hey everyone, it's Mrs. Blair. I'm here today to teach you a lesson on the sand tray. So I don't have a sand tray like we have a sand tray at our school at my house. So I looked around my house to see if there was something that I could use instead. And I found a small baking pan. So you're basically just looking for something that's flat that has some edges on the side. So I did that and I already put my sand in there. I put sand in a small pitcher like this, so you don't need very much. If you don't have sand at your house, I had it from a craft that I did, but you could also use rice or salt or flour or glitter. Something that's small and fine is what's going to be good for this activity. So we're going to be doing sounds and letters today. So if we were in the classroom, we would be using a sandpaper letter. And we would trace it like this. But you probably don't have a sandpaper letter at your house, and that's okay. You could make a letter, have mom or dad or brother or sister write a letter on a piece of paper, and if you wanted to, you could trace it just like we would. It won't feel like a sandpaper letter, but you could practice. And then you could use that piece of paper as a reference for you, something to look at while you're doing the sand tray. So I'm going to lay that right next to my sand tray, and now I'm going to bring you down so you can see what I'm doing. So I've got my letter right here, and I've got my sand tray, and I'm going to look at my letter and trace it in the sand. And then I'm going to shake it out when I'm all done. Now, if you don't think that you need this letter, don't use it. You could write that letter from memory, or you could try a different letter. You could also do this activity with letters, numbers, words, sight words. I could try to write a sight word that I'm learning, or maybe a word that I'm trying to sound out. I could use it as a reference, just like I did with my letters, and I could do that in the sand. You might need a bigger tray if you're going to do words. And then shake it out. Now, after I practiced in the sand, I can make my own sandpaper letters, and that's what I'm going to try to do now. For that, you're going to need a small piece of paper and a glue stick. If you have disappearing purple glue, that's cool because you can actually see as you're writing. If you don't, that's okay. You can use a regular glue stick. So I'm going to practice with my purple glue so you can see what I'm doing on my sand tray. So I've written my letter with the glue, and I'm going to place it in my tray so the glue is touching the sand. I'm going to be careful to not let any fall out, but I've made my own letter. Now, if I had a regular glue stick, it's kind of fun because it's a mystery. You don't know what I'm going to write. You can't see it. It's a mystery. Place it in your sand tray. And I've written an R. Now, after I do this, I could put all of my letters together and I could make it into a little book, or I could staple them together and make a word. Like my name. So that's how you can do the sandpaper letters. There's lots of different ways to use the sand tray, and that was one of them for today. So have fun!